Today I fucked up by letting my son take my wife's menstrual cup for show and tell. My wife is working out of town for a couple weeks. Sometime over the weekend I noticed my son playing with this little silicone cup that kinda looked like a tulip. I asked him what it went to and what it did, and he proceeded to show me its versatility. Over the next few days it helped the Paw Patrol save the town. It was a treasure chest holding tiny pebbles guarded by pirates, a force field protecting a spaceship. It came with us to the park, grocery shopping, and even out to dinner one night. I loved that it had its own little satchel and assumed it just went to a play set. Fast forward to this morning, and as we're getting ready for school, Alexa reminds us that it's show and tell today at school. So my son grabs his little silicone cup and off to school he goes. I pick him up after school and his teacher asks to speak with me. My son looks happy, so I figure he's not in trouble, or if he is in trouble he did something cheeky that he's proud of. Our conversation. Teacher, Ben's show and tell was interesting? Me, yay. It's cool, right? We've been playing with that thing for days. Teacher, mister. I start to panic, oh shit, it's not a toy. Teacher, that is a menstrual cup. I get confused. Teacher notes my confusion. It's used to collect menstrual blood. I'm still confused. Teacher, it goes inside, and collects blood. Me, it just stays in there. She nods. Me, are you sure? I don't think that would fit too comfortably there. Teacher, oh, it folds in half then springs open inside. We're both clearly uncomfortable. Me, alright then. So where do I get a replacement, because my wife will probably not be too pleased when she returns home and will not want to continue using this one. My wife laughed hysterically when we told her. My son is none the wiser and is having a tea party with the cup right now. TL doctor thought my wife's menstrual cup was a toy and my son and I played with it all weekend, then he took it for show and tell. Edit, wow. I cannot believe this got so much attention. I'm glad everyone got a good laugh. A bit uncomfortable hearing some co-workers discussing this and then pretending to read it for the first time so they wouldn't know it was me, though. My wife has been reading the comments and insisted that I clarify that I know all about her cycle. We are TTC currently, and, just as it was with our son, I know when she's ovulating. I track her cycle with her and, with our son at least, sometimes help give her the hormone shots. I grew up with 4 sisters, and the only devices I was aware of for periods were to absorb the blood, not collect it. I was also confused by it fitting because, like I said, this device helped save a chickaletta over the weekend. I've seen a tampon there much slimmer than this cup is. My wife assures me it fits just fine and she doesn't even feel its presence after its imposition. I'd like to try to upload a picture of the cup in the back of a tractor with a chicken riding in it, but I'm waiting on my wife's approval. Reminded me of a boy in my son's first grade class. The little entrepreneur was selling telescopes for a nickel each, and sold out. Sadly, they were his mother's used tampon applicators. Recycling at such a young age. Good for him. Did the other kids think it was cool? I bet all the kids are asking their folks for a special cup now. I love that you, sort of, argued with the teacher about its form and function, and she explained the folding and springing motion. This is a priceless interaction and a legitimately high quality. Today I fucked up. Thank you for sharing. Being a teacher must be wild. This is awesome. When we were little, my brother and found my dad's condoms and we spent an afternoon on the front lawn playing with them. Worst water balloons ever. And why are they individually wrapped? My 2 older boys, who were 9 and 6 at the time, were with a sitter for evening, so my husband and I could have a date night, and went rummaging through my dresser drawers. They each found a colorful dildo and proceeded to have what they called a floppy lightsaber fight. The sitter told me she heard them laughing really loud and went to check on them, and they were hitting each other with them and just cracking up. One of the kids accidentally turned one on and it started to vibrate, so he held it up to his face and say how funny it felt. Then he asked the sitter if she wanted to try. She politely declined and told them to go wash up for dinner while she put the toys away. Surprisingly, she babysat for us multiple times after that. No harm done since it sounds like you both had a bloody good time. Period. Today I fucked up by overestimating my clit and losing sight in one eye. Well, fuck. Not a throwaway because I have no shame left to feel. Today I fucked up by orgasming so many times I went blind in one eye. That's right, Catholics, your mother and that one creepy priest who smelt like baloney were right. Seriously, though? Last night I was trying to sleep, obligatory not technically today, but failing miserably. I have bipolar disorder, I'm off my medication, that is a today I fucked up in itself, and I was in the early stages of a manic episode. For those who aren't batshit crazy or psychology majors, arguably the same thing, that basically means my brain is in complete crackhead mode. I tried to lull myself to sleep by reading, working on my Mothman musical, and thinking about Al Gore. At about 3 AM, after laying in bed for 5 hours, I decided I had to exhaust myself physically rather than mentally. Enter stage left. I decide to dive into the disgusting depths of my imagination. Now, whenever I'm jerking off to just my vile thoughts, I always have to go completely under the covers. Unfortunately, it is extremely fucking hot where I live, and the only source of escape from the demonic heat is my floor fan, which sounds like a blender giving birth to a garbage disposal. Super sexy background music to my masturbation fantasies, right? Anyway, for some reason I can't come on my own if my head isn't under some blanket/cloaked. Maybe Saudi Arabia is actually just extremely progressive towards female sexual pleasure. Since this incident I've only slept for 4 hours. I'm losing my mind. Anyway, at this point I'm abusing my clit harder than an elderly person with a touchscreen electronic. After 10 long-ass minutes, which is essentially an eternity to my extremely efficient clitoris, that sweet wave of bliss crashes through me. My clit breathes a sigh of relief and I emerge from my very, very sweaty cocoon of sin. My right eye is stinging a little bit, and I realize the acne treatment I'd put on hours ago has sweated into my eye. I grab my water bottle and pour a little into my eye, roll over, and go the fuck to sleep. I'm sure you can see where this is going, but I certainly didn't. And now I could probably only see half of it, considering half my vision is obscured by a fucking eye patch. I wake up in intense agony, spend half an hour rinsing my eye and freaking the fuck out. The weird angle I'm bent at over the sink causes my poor clitoris to recoil in sensitivity. For some reason, this made me so fucking angry. I felt genuinely betrayed. Like, how dare you? You did this to me. This is your fault. Et tu, Platey. Once my eye starts to swell up, I call the poison control line, lie through my teeth, and they tell me to go to the pharmacy. Arguably the weirdest walk of shame I've ever done. I continue to build my throne of lies in front of the pharmacists, who recommends some eye rinse and, if the swelling doesn't go down, an eye patch. The swelling, my fellow comrades, did not go down. My eye is still bloodshot, slightly stinging, and a lovely shade of what the fuck have I done red, which pairs well with the itchy, puffy skin surrounding it. Now I've got a black eye patch, an angry clitoris, and a dick appointment for tonight that I'll probably have to cancel. I've been wanting to bang this guy for weeks. Also, my eye still hurts like an absolute bitch, and I can't even distract myself with meaningless sex because unless this dude has a pirate fetish I'm shit out of luck. Too long didn't read, I masturbated and now I'm down one eye, one clit, and one much longed for dick. Edit, sweet baby Jesus's clit, what the fuck? This blew up and someone Earl and sent it to me asking if I wrote it. Damn my unforgettable Mothman musical. Anyway, I did not cancel my dick appointment. I told him what happened and he found it funny/endearing. Less endearing when I got to his place and wouldn't stop dirty talking using pirate puns. I've never been more grateful for the colloquialism booty. Also, my eye no longer stings and the swelling has gone down. Hallelujah. Edit number 2. Clearly the Reddit detectives have all suffered a stroke because numerous people have been sullying my good name in the comments with accusations of heterosexuality. To clarify, I'm bi. Also, thanks for all the cool shit and stuff, I guess. When I read the title I thought you had burst the vessels providing blood to your eye and gone blind that way, so I firmly believe that at least 50% of men, if given the opportunity, would have sex with Leela from Futurama. Edit, my first goal is for expressing my desire to fuck a cartoon, and we're not even on r/anime. Thank you for encouraging my sexual deviancy, kind stranger. I can't even distract myself with meaningless sex because unless this dude has a pirate fetish I'm shit out of luck. You'd be surprised. You shouldn't be surprised at all, but you still would be. Working on my Mothman musical, and thinking about Al Gore. Go on. Holy shit, your clit evolved a defense mechanism against an overly demanding masturbatory warlord. R/brand new sentence. Today I fucked up by hiding my staple addiction and making my family think I was a heroin junkie. Ever since I was a kid, I loved to fiddle around with staplers. Playing with the automatic ones and doing dumb stuff like any child would, opening the manual ones and swinging it around, stuff like that. One of my favorite things to do was to open up a new strip of staples and break them apart before putting them in. Running my fingers through the staples, counting them and breaking them apart. Love it. There are 210 staples in a standard strip and sometimes I'd break off each individual one until my fingers hurt. I've even found strips with 209 and 211 a few times. This progressed from me messing around with staples in Ms. Grady's second grade class, to buying a box of staples every other payday to play with, to literally having a collection of different brands and sizes of staples in my college dorm to break apart. I had a problem, but no one was hurt, so who cares? Well, fast forward to present day. I am a functioning middle-class adult with a wife and 2 children. I have a home, a normal car, an office job. I am by all accounts a normal human being. I still love staples. Working in an office with a supply room full of staples was a problem. I'd spend my lunch break in the room opening boxes and breaking apart staples to get my fix before returning to work. It got so bad over the course of a couple years that my boss changed our supplier because the boxes all had broken apart staples and were sometimes ripped. So I had to stop doing that. I turned to Amazon first, buying 10 boxes of staples at a time for about $20 a pop. It wasn't enough. I went to 20, then 40. My wife got curious then and asked, why are you buying all of these boxes of staples? But I brushed it off as a work issue that I'd get reimbursed for and knew I had to change my methods. Over the course of a few months I enabled myself. I started using cash only at different office supply stores around my town and neighboring towns. I would sit in my car and break apart staples before going to the next store. I began to stay out late and tell my wife I would be home soon, so I could go buy more staples, from different stores. I opened up a new credit card to put online so she wouldn't know, but she caught it in the mail. She got suspicious because things weren't adding up. This past Thursday after one of my late nights I get home with a trunk full of broken staples and 10 freshly broken boxes in my passenger seat to see my parents' cars at my house. I walked in and everyone is sitting around like it's an intervention. Because it is. My wife asked if there was anything I wanted to tell them, and to tell the truth about my problem. I sat down and kept saying, what are you talking about, until my mom said, honey, we saw the pictures. Then my wife tells me that my late nights, excuses, and general weirdness about the credit card, and some other little things made her hire a private investigator. This man followed me around to office supply stores and watched me do something with what I had in the bag from multiple stores. It basically looked like I was a drug runner for Office Depot who was using some of the product for myself. At this point my wife started to cry and my dad shook his head. I had to come clean and all I could muster was, I like staples. The WTF looks I got afterwards turned into disbelief, then concern, then fits of laughter when I showed them my car. I came clean. I backed this up by showing my secret stash of used staples in my attic and explained the purchases on the card to my wife. Right now my only concern is my dad. He didn't laugh, just kind of shook his head continually in disappointment without saying a word. Believe it or not, I think therapy or addiction meetings may help, as my wife gave me these suggestions the day after. I may or may not do that, But the good news is I now can have a staple hour once I get home, and my budget for staples is allowed by the wife for now. Too long didn't read. I have an addiction to breaking apart staples, and my wife thought I was on drugs when it became a problem. Edit. Thank you all for the suggestions on getting professional help, sharing how it brightened your day, and making me laugh with some of your comments as well. I am going to sit down for a while and try to respond to quite a few questions directly as well as here. If you want to copy-paste or use my story in your YouTube videos or whatever, go right ahead. I just ask that you DM me/name the throwaway so I can find and watch it out of pure interest of other people's perspectives on my problem. 1. I went to see a therapist today with my wife. I was told that although the addiction is not typical in its damage regarding my mental or physical well-being, I do need help. I am going to go through addiction counseling like any other addict would, just tailored to my specific issue. 2. Apparently, part of fixing my brain to know that it is not okay to continue this level of staplephilia. That included cleaning out my car, attic, and not garnering more attention through memorializing pictures, doing interviews, or trying to garner 15 minutes of fame from it. So after answering some questions about mental health and what the future holds, it will become less about Reddit laughs and more about personal recovery. 3. My wife initially thought I was having an affair. She didn't think I was doing drugs until she got the pictures. The pie just told her what he saw, and she deduced that I had an undercover type distribution thing going with someone in the office supply business. She admitted that she didn't think it all through, but her mind was racing and conclusions came as they did. 4. I do not have autism or any diagnosed mental disability. I am just an addict, and an idiot. I know how stupid the addiction is, and so I tried to hide it. It's not a big deal in the grand scheme of things, I guess, but my embarrassing white lie just spiraled out of control. There are 210 staples in a standard strip, and sometimes I break off each individual one until my fingers hurt. I've even found strips with 209 and 211 a few times. Find someone who looks at you like Op looks at a strip of 211 staples. Damn man, that's some heavy shit. Straight up my strange addiction territory. No doubt about it. Op. You need help, bro. I just counted a strip of staples. His story checks out. Don't start down that road. You may not come back. Since you seem to know your way around a box of staples, what's your favorite brand? Is there a size you prefer over the standard issue ones? Are heavy-duty staples particularly satisfying to break apart? Bro, you can't just drop a staple addiction on us and then not give us a breakdown of the pros and cons of various types. You're enabling him. Dude, despite all the staples, it seems your life is coming apart. Go see someone? Talk to a professional. The biggest red flag is the lack of control you describe. I'd also been asking the hard question of what this behavior is masking. It was a cool story though. Yeah, it is kind of unfortunate. The ridiculousness of the situation leads people to think it is silly and harmless. But acting so shady that your wife and parents hire a pie to tail you truly illustrates how bad the actual problem is. I hope Op actually goes to get help. Even ignoring the potential thousands of dollars he spent, the lengths he went to satisfy this OCD level urge. Troubling. This is my strange addiction level addiction. Definitely hope Op at least ends up seeing a professional who can analyze the issue.